Hello everyone and welcome to Inside Rugby. My name is Mark and in this video I'm going to do a review of the match in the weekend that was played at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin between Ireland and Italy. Okay, so welcome back to Inside Rugby, and as you know, we're well and truly into the warm-up series now of games before the Rugby World Cup, which kicks off in France on September the 8th. We're all looking forward to that, but we've got a few games to get through first, and these games are helping coaches and selectors get their squads together to go into that World Cup. And this game in Dublin was no different, an opportunity for Andy Farrell to try out some new peripheral players on the Irish team and to see what they could do and whether or not they were going to stand up for selection for the Irish squad. On the other cards, Kieran Crowley, who happens to come from the same province, Taranaki in New Zealand, as I do, the coach of Italy, was looking for, again, an improved performance this time against Ireland. Italy seemed to be getting a little bit better in each game, and I'm sure Crowley was looking for that improvement again from Italy in this particular match. It was Italy that opened the scoring in the second minute when Tommaso Allen got a penalty, and that put Italy ahead 3 points to 0. But it wasn't long before Ireland started to show some dominance in this game, and their rampaging forwards making a lot of progress downfield. Early on, Doris and Henderson were playing extremely well and taking a lot of yardage up for the men in green. In the 13th minute of the game, the Irish were again attacking the Italian line, and Cancun went over for a try on the back of a rolling maul, and that was the first try for the Irish in this game. It was converted, so the Irish went ahead 7 points to 3. Then in the 28th minute, the Italians were moving forward closer towards the Irish line, and Fraschetti was given a yellow card for an infringement, took the Italians down to 14 men. So just a few minutes later, off the back of an Irish line-out win and then a subsequent maul, Caelan Doris for the Irish went over for a try, which was converted, and the Irish went out to a 14.3 lead over the Italians. Now, by the look of the play, it looked like the Irish were going to probably open up this game at this stage, but it wasn't actually the case. We had a few errors coming into the game on both sides, and just when the teams looked like they were going to be more expansive, the play actually broke down. I think the Italians looked a little bit more expansive in those few early minutes, in the first 30 minutes or so. The Irish weren't just able to get a lot of their play together, and their backs weren't seeing too much of the ball because the forwards were dominating across the park. And so it was. In the 36th minute, McCloskey for Ireland charged over again in a close forward maul towards the line and scored the third try for Ireland in this particular game. And the Italian defence was starting to creak close to the line, and I think this is something that Kieran Crowley and his coaching staff will be taking a closer look at. They were just falling off their defensive patterns a little bit, the Italians, and letting the Irish forwards in particular make too much easy ground in that first half. So the Irish went to half time at 21 points to 3, and while Andy Farrell may not have been smiling too much, he would have been reasonably happy with the Irish performance and putting a lot of their errors down to rustiness and coming out in their first game. I think Kieran Crowley, from an Italian coaching point of view, would have been disappointed in some of the defence, particularly close to the Italian goal line where the Irish did score those tries. The Italians weren't going in too low in the defence, and the Irish forwards were able to get in underneath them and score those particular tries. So it's going to be interesting to see what happened in the second half. It could have been that the Irish would take off with this game and score a big score, but did the Italians have any resilience and were they going to come back into this game? That was the question at half time. So the Italians took the initiative first in the second half, and in the 50th minute, after a great move down the right hand side, the ball going out wide to their winger after a bouncing ball on the ground, Pani picked it up and took off and pushed away Stockdale on the wing for a pretty soft try, I must say. And although Stockdale is a really good winger when he's in form, he hasn't been in form for a while, and defensively he seems to have some weaknesses, and I think a lot of Irish fans would have been fairly disappointed in the softness of that particular try for Pani, who came on as a substitute for Italy to score that try in the 50th minute. The try was scored out wide and it was converted by Tommaso Allen from the sideline, which was a good kick. So it brought Italy back to 21 points to 10 at that stage in the game. So one probably thought at this stage that the next team to score was going to make this game either interesting or get away for them for Ireland's sake. And in the 65th minute, the Irish went away for a try through Healy. Another forward drive close to the Italian line, and this seems to be the trend for this particular game for Ireland. They were able to use their brute force in the forward pack to get these tries against Italy, and the Italians' defence close to the line just wasn't up to world-class standard in keeping the Irish out. So Healy's try was unconverted, and we went back to play at 26 points to 10. And then just a couple of minutes later, again, the Italians made a raid towards the Irish line, went a little bit left, and Minicello went over for a good try halfway between the goalpost and the corner flag. So a good try by Italy, back into the game, using the ball out wide, and finally getting through the Irish defence. So was it game on? 26 points to 17 by the time the conversion went over from Italy, and maybe the Italians were coming back into this game. So with just 8 minutes left in the game, it was Ireland that scored next, and Caelan Doris went over for his second try in this particular game and put the game then beyond the Italians. It was again a close forward move to the Italian line, and Doris went over just left of the uprights. The conversion was successful, and the Irish had their lead of 33 points to 17, and that was the final score in this particular game. So I think in summary, we've seen pretty good performances from the Italians. I think they definitely improved against Ireland compared to their game against Scotland, but they'll have to keep improving quite dramatically if they're going to make an impact in the Rugby World Cup, which I don't really see happening, unfortunately. Good luck to them. Crowley's going to give it his best, and I'm sure the team are too as they head into the Rugby World Cup. For Ireland, I think Doris and Henderson stood out. Crowley had a good game as well, and Joe McCarthy looked very good as well. So there was a combination of young blood in this Irish team, a couple of the old guard, and it's going to be interesting to see what Andy Farrell does in the next match for Ireland in 2 weeks' time back here in Dublin. So it was a very good first up game. I think they'll be reasonably happy with that win, got some of the cobwebs out, but it wasn't a dominating performance by Ireland at all against an Italian team's defence that seemed to be a little bit weak around the fringes. Hard to say at this stage how they will go going forward, but we'll keep a close eye on it here at Inside Rugby. So there we go. I think it was a reasonably good performance by Ireland. It wasn't dominating performance by Ireland. Italy's defence looked a bit fragile, particularly around the edges of the channels, and Ireland were able to capitalise on with their tries. We didn't see too many exciting backline tries from Ireland at all in this game, and that may be something they're looking at developing further as they go into this summer series. So let me know what you think in the comments about this particular game. I don't think we can read too much into it. It was Ireland's first game. They've got a little bit of the rust out now, and I'm sure there's going to be changes for their next game. Italy are on a trajectory. I'm not sure where it's going to take them as far as World Cup goes, but I think on their day they can give some teams a bit of a hard go, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in the World Cup. Let me know your thoughts around Italy as well. Did they play better than you thought they would against Ireland? Did they score more points against Ireland than you had anticipated? And where do you think the Irish team goes from here? Do you think we're going to see a lot of changes for their game against England? Okay, well that's it for this particular video. I think most of the crowd that was at the Aviva Stadium would have gone home reasonably happy from that game, but looking for a lot more from Ireland as they go forward. And we'll just have to wait and see how that unravels here in the summer series on Inside. It's going to be very interesting as we go forward whether or not Ireland can return to being dominating in the games that they're going to play leading up to and including the World Cup games. Let me know what you think Ireland's chances are at this year's World Cup. Now I'm going to be bringing you lots more videos before we get to the World Cup with the remaining warm-up games. We've also got the squad announcements coming out. We've just had the All Blacks announcement. I'll be making a video about that soon. So plenty still to come here on Inside Rugby. Thank you very much for watching my videos. I'll be back again soon. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and support me if you can. So until next time, stay safe everybody, stay well, and remember to enjoy your rugby. Bye for now.